Let's just jump right in, bud.
Yeah. Yeah, doing it for you, NorCal. Doing it for you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to what I believe is episode 158 of the Going Over podcast. We just keep on trucking, no matter what time of day it is, how tired we are, where we are, what the fuck we're doing. It's your neighborhood friendly coach, trainer, promoter, and 44-year-old professional wrestler, Zizak, Tizime, Reeb. And I'm joined alongside, as always, my podcast partner, the man who hung like a horse. He's hung like a horse. The 7-foot wrecking ball, Pizzall, Izzo, Dizora. Paul Isadora, what's up? Welcome to the program. You can see the sun shining through the fucking blinds. Let's get that F word out of the way. How you doing today, brother?
Oh, doing good, man. I apologize for not being up and ready to rock and roll at 6 a.m. As we were at a basketball tournament. Such is life. But I fully intended on bringing my computer. I made sure I had my headphones. Like I had everything I needed except for the thing that I really, really needed, which was my computer, which I apologize for because I woke up. I woke up to a message and I was like, "Oh, son of a bitch!" I was gonna send you a message last night and say, "Hey, I forgot my computer," and then I fell asleep. So yeah, and my girls love to let me know that I am the best. I have the best choice of hotel rooms. I always get the least expensive motel in the. Basically, it was just like the one that I stayed in Winnemucca.
Don't say that word. Don't say that word.
I stayed at a hotel where lots of other people live there. We got there, we checked in. There's kids riding their bikes in the parking lot and stuff, and I'm just like, what is going on here? It is definitely somewhere where people reside more than one or two nights at a time. That's for sure.
You know what? Hold on real quick. It's been a long time since I've had to do this, but I'm going to go beat a couple animals real quick. I'll be right.
Oh, the animal cruelty is a thing again. Gotta just give them some of those bacon strips. Give them some bacon strips. Give them a milk bone, something like that.
Why would they get a bacon strip when they waited to start making they know what they're doing. They didn't get to go on their run today. It's been they didn't get to go. It's been a long weekend. We went to the Bad News pool party on Saturday. Sparky Ballard.
I'm sorry that I missed that after I RSVP'd to be there. We had a basketball game at noon, and I think the party started at 11:30, right?
Yeah, Sparky Ballard showed up, came all the way from Pacifica. His kids are gone for the summer. He just came to hang out. It was a great time being around everybody, man. Like I said, the new team, man, just listening to music. These guys are crazier than I could have ever imagined. And here's sober Zach just chilling around it all. Today was a long day. Like I said, I was hoping to get the podcast done because I knew it would be a long day. We started the kids class, which there seemed to be a lot of interest in, and one kid showed up. And when he came in, it was the kid that I tell at the show now, you're the reason these people boo me. So when he came in the door, he was very unhappy to see me. And then he just kind of he came in politely and said he left. So, getting things going, just like this podcast, just like anything else we do. So the kids class, I had a great class today. A lot of people showed up today. Class itself was great. For the Sunday night slams, I think we had about, 15 or so people, but good little environment. It only lasted 33 minutes. And it was good to see the guys go out there and all hit the 10-minute marker in matches where it was okay to make mistakes and try some stuff out, man, especially from class earlier. Like I said, it's trial and error with this stuff, man. Trial and error. Everything else seems to be going well. Locking down the stadium show, sending my invoices. That's what I learned today with little Josh Reynolds' mom. Was sending our invoices out, sending our invoices to the baseball stadium, sending our invoices to the church, where we now know that Sunday, August 2nd, will be the show from the Foothill Methodist Church up there. And also Saturday, August 1st, we'll be heading down to Sacramento. Jalen Love and the big bad Shaq Wolf getting us going down there. So a lot of movement going on. Today was a busy day, but, you know, I saw it through, man, and I'm finishing things out on this podcast and just saw the big ugly officially said that there will be no NorCal United. A lot going on. Paul, what the fuck is going on in Northern California?
I don't know, man. It seems like there is a lot of it is the roller coaster of emotions. I see that there was definitely some shows yesterday that looked like they were very populated. I saw Oasis look like that there was a good thing going on there. It looked like CWA standing room only. So a lot of positive, but at the same time, you're seeing that Ugly is no longer doing the matinee shows, right? Is he no longer doing the matinees, or was it just a training portion that was before that that's not happening? And then you see the NorCal United show and training thing is not going on. So it's like you're wondering what is going on. A lot of positive, then you get this negativity, and I saw that Jack Trout retiring from pro wrestling, and you just hate to see that, man. You see people that are trying to live out this dream and ending it early, injuries or mental stuff happening, and it's a shame that you have these people that are in theory good people that good to be around, and seemingly trying to learn from what we're trying to put out there and trying to put it into place, and and cutting it short. There's so many people. I think we've talked about this in the past. People that have come through your school, especially, that you go, man, this guy's got potential, or somebody that comes through and they get to the point where they're having matches, and you go, man, this guy's good. This guy could be something, and then they hang it up. Just all of a sudden, the main guy that comes to mind for me is Malachi. That I always thought like had so much potential. I feel like he was the first guy out of our crew that was on the WWE radar. Getting tryouts and stuff like that, and then it's like just disappeared out of thin air. Haven't seen the guy for forever. We mentioned him in passing periodically, but it's like this guy I just remember was, I feel like was the youngest of all the guys, right? Of all the Corey and Malachi and Adam Luster, Choopy, I felt like he was the youngest of them, but always looked like a big grown man, big burly beard and just a giant physique, and just fucking tough, and just could do it all, man. Like, just could just adapt to any style. He was hard hitting. He was the guy that could take punishment. He could work with me. He could work with a smaller guy, work with you, like just could switch it up, could adapt to anybody's style. And that's a guy that I always go, man, I wonder what if that guy would have stuck around, where would he be? no doubt in my mind that guy would make a living off of wrestling, but no idea what happened.
You're throwing me off a little bit because are you comparing Jeremy Jones, aka Malachi?
Absolutely not.
Malachi.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's the first
Malachi.
He's the guy in my head.
Malachi started at PCW, one of my good friends. Every time I would see Malachi after he quit, I'd end up at like some bachelor party or something in Reno. And whatever casino I went in, there was Jeremy Jones in a fucking beat up Tom Rathman San Francisco 49ers jersey. And man, that one of my favorites, man. Like one of the really until recently we clicked a couple years back, man. The way we have, that was my guy from Reno. He spent a lot of time at PCW, even when Adam and Luster left. Corey and Jeremy stayed around for a long time. But that's what I love to hear is the comparison of a guy that coulda, woulda, shoulda been one of the greats with a retirement of another wrestler that you're talking about right here. And that always gets me too is the retirement. You put in a cup of coffee in independent pro wrestling, man, then you retire. And we talk about this stuff all the time. We talk about this is not for the mentally weak, right? This is a business where if you're sensitive or emotional, there's so much going on in the world, and there's so much. We talked about the cancel culture and just all this sensitivity and where the world is going and stuff, but getting to the top of any professional entertainment or a sporting industry, being sensitive isn't how you get there. I feel the sensitivity and the feelings and shit like that, but having those feelings, whether people side with you or not, and they might not like my opinion on this, but it's just the truth. To get to where you're going, it takes hard work and dedication. I mean, you could chop up some chicken and do some other stuff to get there, kiss some ass, know somebody. But at the end of the day, if you're going to stay on top, it's like sports. If you're going to be, if a team's going to be a dynasty, it's because they know what they're doing. It's like Bill Belichick. Did Bill Belichick ever play any professional football? I don't think Belichick played football. But Belichick is like a general manager, man. He's like he knows how to run a team. He's got a great offensive coordinator. He's got a great defensive coordinator, an offensive line coach, quarterbacks coach, all this stuff. He knows how to keep things going with everybody. And that's a conversation we started to have. But, and that's what it reminds me of right now in the NorCal scene, man. And we don't talk about it enough, right? We talk about all the stuff that goes on inside the ring, and we hint at it a million times. We say, hey, you got to be trained right? Right. Right. Again, you got to train right, and you got to know what you're doing. But at the end of the day, man, you look around and you see all these people that expose what professional wrestling is, man. And you look at these people and you go, I just kind of get along with everybody, man. I've been at shows where someone's asking me to help them out and I'm coaching them in the ring or showing them a little something, and somebody else will hop in the ring and throw their 2 fucking cents into what they're doing. And I'll look at it and go, man, no. I would grab you in a waist lock and you would never get out of it because you don't know how to get out of it. You don't know how to lean your weight back and power out. You don't know to throw your thumbs in there and walk your feet out. You don't know. You don't know the steps to break this down. You don't know why we do the headlock. And it's a lot of things, like when it comes to the drills. One thing I told the guys today about the drills, I said, it's not about what you're doing in the drill. It's about understanding what you're doing. I remember when Brandon Humphrey used to record classes, and I'd say, what are you recording it for? And he'd say, well, Rick wanted me to record it so he could send it down to him. And I'm like, well, first off, Rick can't fucking see, right? Rick's blind. So what's he going to do? Listen to my training class? No, I'm just fucking around. But at the end of the day, you can watch what I'm doing. You could see it. But until you're in there repping it out, understanding, and if you don't understand it, if you don't understand why I'm doing it and what I'm doing and why I'm coaching it, you're not going to get it. But it just seems like over all these years, you can pinpoint the bad people. You can pinpoint the problem. Like people would be like, oh, Zach's a drunk. That's one thing that I always heard. Zach's a drunk. And I've heard Zach says a lot of perverted stuff. Well, I might. I think that's funny. That's my sense of humor. And shame me for having a funny sense of humor, right? That I think some penis jokes are funny, man. A lot of comedians do, and I think they are too. But the thing is, forcefully, I will never forcefully unzip my pants and pull my penis out of my pants against anybody's will. You know what I mean? Like, unless somebody's asking for the old little Reber, unless they're asking for it with some consent, they ain't gonna get it, man. So, but it's when I look at everything, man, it's just like, man, we have gotten so far away from what we're doing here. And I'm not touching on a subject like that because I don't know facts. You know what I mean? I'd love to spit the facts, especially on here. I'd love to cover wrestling shows and really tell people what I really think. Me and you hopping in a car, checking our shows out this weekend. We got 3 that we want to check out, and nobody can stop us. We're coming to your show, and we're gonna sit here and we're gonna break it down from start to finish. And not even the word don't think, I don't want to say that, but no, the sensitivity level, nobody would be able to handle that criticism. And it would be the same criticism on even a higher level of what's going on here. So I just feel like, guys, just shut the fuck up and let's get into the ball game, man. Like, that's the one thing that really bothered me about this is I talk to Ugly a lot, and I know he's not making a shit ton of money, man. But what he's trying to do is he's trying to provide a platform for Northern California. And one thing I cannot stand, and I'm glad we have this vehicle right here to say it, and then I'll shut the fuck up and we'll move on, is and it's anywhere in life. I can't handle people that instigate situations and problems and then turn around and try to act like I'm gonna help this situation. I got these 2 guys in a fist fight, and then when the fist fight's done, you walk up and go, "Hey guys, why are we fighting?" Well, because you started the fight. You got us into the fighting situation. So it's like, hey man, if you're out there and you got something to fucking say, just be a man and say it. But, grab your balls and just go tell someone what you really want to tell them. Don't run around and tell a bunch. And this is anything. This isn't even talking about a situation. I could be. If you think we're talking about you, we probably are. We say it all the time, right? But it's like, just pull your let your balls drop. And if you got something to say to somebody, go fucking say it. And if you want to be a man, a real man is gonna go up and talk to somebody if they have a fucking issue. They're not gonna fucking hide behind the issue and tattle over here. You want me to be honest? I'm about as honest and blunt as it can be. When I see you, if I don't care, I'm not gonna say nothing because I don't give a shit. But I will fucking tell you bluntly what the fuck I think. If I think you're doing something wrong, if it is asked of me, I'll let you know I think you're doing something wrong. If I think you're a fucking jerk off, I'll tell you a jerk off. Now where I'm at in life, it's none of my business. Do I think a lot of this is childish fucking bullshit that goes on every weekend and stuff? I do. And and I've played a part in the past, man. And all I can do right now is lead by example to my guys and girls and everything that we're doing. But it's like, come on, guys, we got to do better at training. We got to do better at the shows, and we got to do better as adults with families, wives, and hopefully, if you're over 30 or so, you're paying a mortgage or something like that. That's my rant right there, Paul. I'm done.
Oh yeah, no worries, man. This I think sometimes this is a way to get shit off of our chest, and it's it's our avenue, right? This is something that we run and we post, and people can watch it or they can't watch it. Whatever they decide. If they're interested in our opinions, if they're interested in what we got to say, cool. If not, it's like kind of go fuck off type of mentality. But something that I'm curious about, frustrates me, is I reached out to some people that I was going to be in Sacramento this weekend, right? Hey, wouldn't mind swinging by your school. What time do you train? Stuff like that, and I got fucking zero response. And it leads me to go like, either these people, you're trying to like, how would you get a booking, right? You're reaching out to someone going, hey, I'd like to book you, and if you're not checking the devices that you can be reached on, which in my case is like, maybe I reach out to you on Instagram, maybe I reach out to you on Facebook. It's like, if you're not reading that, if you're not answering that, how do you expect to get booked on a show? And my whole mindset was, I'd like to go check out a wrestling school. To First of all, I'd like to add help, whatever, and also I'd like to say, hey, who are you training? Who is here that I could potentially use, or that we could use, that I could go, hey, Zach, I saw this person at this training school. Looks like they've got potential. Might be someone that we can bring in. We always talk about bringing people in and helping them get started with, whether that's, you've got a generic singlet and you're getting squashed, or if you can be a part of something that you go, hey, I see this person in this type of role, that you can go and go, hey, here's what I think. Here's what I think we could use you for. Here's how I could help you. And to get zero response was very frustrating for me, especially from guys that I thought like, oh, I would have a relationship. This person would at least, respond and go, hey, this is the time we're training. And if it didn't work, then it didn't work. But just to get zero response was frustrating for me. Uh, just trying to help out. But it leads to the thing of, how do you get in contact with people that you'd like to book, right? I don't know this person, but I'm reaching out going, hey, I talked to such and such. They suggested booking you. Are you available for this date? And if that person doesn't respond, then how is this person getting booked? How are guys in general getting booked right now? I know back in the day it was, it was word of mouth, right? This person says, hey, such and such wants you to call them because they're interested in booking you, right? So you call someone on the phone, or you reach out on MySpace or whatever, and you'd get booked. For me, I feel like it was more showing up, and I don't know how many times we've mentioned that, showing up to shows and trying to get booked. I don't know if that's necessarily the way that people are doing it nowadays, since we've talked about the oversaturation of the professional wrestling business, especially in Northern California. But how are people getting booked? How should we go about getting booked? It's like, I don't know, man. What is the answer to that? How do people get booked? How do we book people?
I don't have the answer to that. There is a small cluster community of, I mean, these guys could work 4 to 6 times a weekend. You know what I mean? And what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They could be working 2 times on Friday, 2 times on Saturday, and 2 times on fucking Sunday. I don't know. You could have 5 or 6 bookings a weekend, And if you don't get the 5 or 6 bookings that you want, there could be 5 or 6 alternative bookings that you can take. And what that does, and people may not like it, but what it does is saturation, right? Saturation. We talk about quality over quantity, and we talk about this stuff all the time. And you could go out there and you can work every single weekend. But if you're choreographing something, and we talk about this all the time, if you're not listening to the audience, and even if you are listening to the audience, if you don't know how to work, then your live reps are going to be invaluable. That was one thing about today was I was excited. It wasn't a big crowd. You know, how many times have we seen people do little shows like this that weren't big crowds? A lot of money wasn't, there wasn't a lot of money made, but to tell these guys, hey, you got 10, go 12, figure shit out. And I thought some stuff that was funny today was they're working over here, the headlocks and the stuff they're doing, they're working over here to nobody. And then when they're about to do something where they need to talk to each other, they're over on the other side of the ring where the fans are. And I'm like, hey, you guys are fucking ass backwards here, and like one of the guys today was very emotional and said he felt like what he did at the end of the match, he was almost in tears. He felt ruined the match. And I'm like, buddy, I'm glad you're being hard on yourself, but this is why we're doing this. You know what I mean? So I don't know what it takes to get booked, man. I've used a lot of talent, and for me, my talent, the talent that I want to use, I need you. Because if I can't have you and I can't write a story with you, then what the fuck are you? You're no good to me. You're no good to me if there's no story. And that's the way everybody should be looking at this. If I don't have a story to tell with you, then what am I really doing out here? Where's this company? Where's this product going? And these are things that everybody's going to tell you. One thing I always notice is when I always hear back from seminars, or if I talk to Gangrel, or if I just anybody that I know over the years and years and years and years and years of conversations with these guys, it's always the same shit. We've always heard the same stuff. And one thing I've learned from the pros ahead of me is execution, man. So I don't know, because I feel like anybody will use anybody, anywhere, anytime. And I don't feel people are worried about execution. I don't think they're worried about the live repetitions in front of the crowd. And I damn sure, as somebody who's has been fat shamed, I know damn well that people are not worried about eating right and going to the gym. And that's something we always hear, right? Like 27 years later for me, it's like, eat right, go to the gym, train. Things I was talking to Spark about, it's like you hear somebody go, okay, here's my finish, right? Let's just say they work backwards. Here's my finish. And then you hear them go, I'm going to cut you off with this move. Maybe I'm going to move out of the way and you're going to hit your shoulder in the post. And then I'll put the heat on you because I've cut you off. And then you'll hear these fucking dudes or girls or whatever talking about what spot they're going to do in the heat. And you're like, well, you just rammed your shoulder at full speed into the – why did that cut you off? Are you going to work the guy's arm and shoulder area because he's hurt? No, they have no desire to work that body part that hit the fucking steel fucking post that's square, and you hit one of the things and it probably really did dislocate your shoulder or your collarbone. And then they start doing this spot with like, I'm going to rise up, hit you with the jaw jacker. I'm going to come off the ropes, duck two, tilt the world, head scissor, fucking side rush and leg sweep. and then I'm going to roll to the top rope, and then you knock me off the top rope or move out of the way. It's like the heat is gone. The heat is gone. It's no longer you have cut this guy off, and now that he's back on his feet, that's the whole purpose of building to the hot tag. That is the whole purpose of being in the heat. Once you cut this motherfucker off, he doesn't get back to his feet and start running around doing stuff, because that is the comeback. So all you did was start the comeback too early. How many times do I have to say, oh, nope, missed it. Wrong again. Got a headlock on this guy. They're not making any noise. Oh, fuck it. Come up anyways. And the crowd's like,
the crowd's like, this is wrestling. That's what the crowd is like.
Like I'm doing right here. Like trying to suck a ghost dick. You know what I mean? They're like, oh. I would love for people to listen. I would love it. I would love to like throw this advice out there and just say, hey man, I know you think you know better. And maybe you wrestled in front of a crowd and they chanted holy shit at something you did, or a fan came up to you excited afterwards, or one of the guys in the locker room was like, oh my God, that was such an amazing contest out there. Maybe, I don't know. Probably I've seen it happen many times, you know, so I'm not doubting that didn't happen. But it's like, how about we do something this weekend? How about however we get cut off as babyface, how about we just don't worry about doing anything impressive until we build to our comeback? Let's just let the heat be the heat and focus on that. And let's do that for a weekend. And if it doesn't work, then just go back to doing it your way, which your way, I don't know what it is. I'm confused. I hear people say modern wrestling and all this shit. And I'm just like, modern wrestling to me just sounds like somebody who's skipped a lot of the education in the training, you know what I mean? Or has an uneducated coach telling them how to do something. That's all that modern wrestling says to me, because I like the athleticism, man. I think it's cool, man, to see, but also if I've seen it, I've seen it. You know what I mean? It's like I said, I already seen everything Jacob Fatu can do. But the cool part about it is he's in a storyline now. So now I get to see what his personality is and what his fucking character is, because I've already seen his moonsaults. Unimpressed now. I've seen what he can do athletically. Now I want to see what he can do with longevity. You know, I don't know how to explain it anymore, man. And until someone gets injured or somebody on a higher level steals one of their moves or something, or it's all been done and it don't impress people. I mean, you can't impress people, you know. I could still walk up to the top rope of class and jump up and grab my leg at the top rope and do a nice moonsault or a headstand. I can still do that stuff. I did it today just to show somebody like how to do it. And people go, oh shit, bro, that was dope. I could still do it before my match if I wanted. Well, now I'm bad guy, so I don't need to fucking do it. But tell me something, and I guess I can just preach it over and over and over again. Maybe it's I'm tired, but I'll tell you this: it's that I'm just tired of the fucking bullshit, man. You know, we get these podcasts every so often where we're like, all right, let's teach some informative stuff. and then you just get so down on yourself in the last couple weeks, and it's not down on yourself. Like, I don't feel like business is bad or anything like that. I just feel like I just keep seeing such fucking bullshit on this little gadget that we're talking into right now. I just see it, man. It's like I feel like going to that pool party and having a good time, and then today doing what we did today. It felt great, man. It felt great to just be doing what I wanted to do, you know. And then you couldn't do the podcast this morning, and it's like, man, you were out at basketball tournaments and stuff. So you actually do have this beautiful thing that I am envious of. And that's, you love pro wrestling just as much as I do, but you got 5 daughters and a wife, right? 5 daughters?
5 daughters.
5 daughters and a wife. And you get these rewards in life where you get to be a part of every single one of their lives, and whatever they want to do, dad gets to do all these things. So you still see the bullshit, but at the end of the day, I'm not married and I don't have kids. So I just get to sit here whether I want to or not, because I just can't seem to turn away from this unbelievable storyline that these guys tell me every single day. And I just watch it and I just shake my head. And it's gotten to the point now where a lot of other people that I'm close to are watching it. And, you know, we've heard Ugly talk about him and Flacco, and it's like, you're sending these things back and forth to each other. And it becomes a thing all day where it's like, got a Facebook reel coming in from one of your buddies. And the best part is when like 2 or 3 of your buddies, all within the span of fucking 30 minutes, all send you the same shit. And you're all just sitting here looking at it. And it's like, yes, guys, people are looking at this stuff and saying this is fucking stupid. We are. It's not just me. They're looking at this and they're saying it's stupid. So I don't know, man. I don't know about the booking fucking thing because I don't know anymore. But be reliable. We talked about there today. I got to be able to trust you. Right. I don't know how to go about booking guys, man, because everybody's always got like, can't do it on this day because this is the day this company runs every single fucking month on this day. They call dibs. I don't play dibs, man. I used to play dibs and try to work around everything. I work around your schedule now when we put everything together. But other than that, it's like I don't have the answer, which I don't always have the answer for everything. I just feel like I look at everything and go, hey, this is what makes common sense, right?
Right. Well, and it's funny that you mentioned how many promotions and how if you can't make these 6 promotions on a weekend, there's 6 other ones that you could potentially make, and it makes me laugh because of that the quote you said on either the last podcast or the one before that. They do more because they don't know how to do less. Yeah, and that got quoted, and then that got liked over and over, and then it got commented on, and somebody put, I feel like this quote is good for filling up your calendar and taking any booking. And it's like, that is absolutely it, man. We talk about quality over quantity all the time, and it's like, are you going to take a bunch of shitty bookings, or are you going to take a couple good quality ones where you're going to learn something, or there's going to be people in the locker room that are better than you, and they're going to watch your match and they're going to critique it. And, which bookings are you interested in taking? Are you interested in how quick can I get to 100 matches, or are you to how quickly can I have 10 really good matches? What is your motivation? Is your motivation to have the most matches possible so you can say, I've had this many matches, or is your motivation I got to work, 5 or 6 really good guys, and I've had this many really good matches, and uh, check out this match that I had in the first month that I was working. Then look at this one in the second month, and look how much growth I've made. Are you interested in that, or are you interested in just saying you had a certain amount of matches, and the quality of those matches has not gotten any better, or I've worked this many people, and they're all shit dick workers, and couldn't work their way out of a paper bag type of people, or are you interested in working with people that are better than you, or that are gonna help you get better? It's just like I remember Adam working with Mike Modest and talking about how good he was, and that they called stuff in the ring, and the simplicity of stuff, and how great of a story it told, and all these different things. And it's like, those are the guys that you want to get in the ring with, man. You want to get into the ring with the Mike Modest type guys that are way better than you, and have been around and have learned from guys that are better than them. And it's this it's a vicious cycle in the best way. It's, I've learned from this guy who's better than me, and he learned from this guy who's better than him, and it's like, so now you're getting all this knowledge passed down. I think about the lineage that you talk about, people that you've learned from, and all the different knowledge that you've gained from different people. And I think about the all the different people that I've learned from. And you take all these things and you try to put it together, and help other people out. I've been a big proponent of, when people come back from going to a high level seminar, going to a tryout, going to work extra work, working with a promotion you've never worked at, where you've worked somebody who was really good, and may has made a living at pro wrestling, and they gave you some insight on things you should do, and you share that with the community that you're hopefully most excited about sharing it with, which is the people that you surround yourself with, and in an effort to try to get everyone to be a little bit better. I don't understand why we don't still get that type of stuff, but I do know why. It's because people aren't out there working with people that are way better than them. They're just working with people who are on the same level, or I'm just trying to get some work, so I'm just out here working with whoever. And that quote is exactly that. We're filling our calendars the exact same way, with that mentality of more is better, not better is better. I love it. That's a that might be a time that you've been speechless. Maybe I said something that made sense this time.
Well, you always say something that makes sense, and sometimes I feel like I'm just regurgitating over here to hear myself, and that's fine. But to go back to that question where you asked, like, what am I looking to learn? Where am I looking to take my education? Right now, it's working guys that I think are underrated, and that, like Jesse Garcia coming off the injury for so long. I got in the ring with him today to work something to show people, and it was a different level, right? Like, and I felt it. We were on a different playing field. It wasn't just me taking control. It was somebody else who understands less steps, understands how to. I've coached him his whole career, but he's doing what I'm doing, but he's found his own way to do it. He's found his own way to do the things I'm saying, but that works for him, which makes him look original. And I'm able to do what I do because I've coached him. And I keep saying this. I'm just like, man, July 11th, July 11th, I've been waiting for this match for a long time. And there's a lot of guys out there that I've been waiting to work. And I've always gotten the ring with, I've pretty much wrestled everybody that I've wanted to wrestle and get in the ring with. And I'm getting a lot of opportunities coming up here, but it's never been that for me because my education has always been willing to learn. You know what I mean? Whoever it is, and I've always been able to get in the ring. One big thing for me, I think one of the most rewarding things I've done is when APW came back that last time. Marcus Mack booked me against Chris Masters, and Masters is a great worker, man. So to go out there with him for 20, 25 minutes and only take a bump apiece and see how excited this guy was, because he was like, he didn't know who the fuck I was. And he's like, oh shit, we'll call it in the ring. And he kept saying that. And I've told the story before, but when you work for so long and you get in the ring with somebody like that and you're able to just go out there, and everyone always says, oh, I just went out there and we had a great one tonight. Did you? You know what I mean? Did you? Is that you and your buddies telling you had a great one tonight? Is that you writing a fucking list of you and your buddies on your buddies are telling you that working you is a night off every single night? Is that you working with your buddies saying, these are my list of matches I'd like to get this year, and then it's all your fucking buddies online and stuff like that? It's like, go out and challenge yourself, man. You can think I'm a dumb shit. You can think I don't know what I'm talking about, all that. But brother, let me tell you something, brother. I've gone out there and done that my entire career. I've gone and I've challenged myself to work with the best performers. And when I worked with the best performers and I was touring around and had stuff going on in my life, I made the decision not to continue on the road. I said airplanes, motels, fucking driving in cars, rental cars. I said a life on the road ain't. You know me, brother. I'll go to Winnemucca for 3 days and I'm off kilter, man. It'll take me a whole week when I get back on routine. As an alcoholic, I need structure, man. I'm outside this little box right here. So the road is not for me. I knew that very early on in my career. But I said I love pro wrestling. I love to coach. I love to just work. I like to leave my house for a night and go work somebody and go out to eat, break that bread. And then I like to get back in the car and head on back. You know what I mean? And then get cracking on my next day. And that's what I prefer. That is what I prefer, man. But it's a go challenge yourself. Don't go pay to book your dream match on somebody else's show, traveling around, getting work. It's like old what's his name? Nick Night Train. Nick, great guy to be around, good young kid. But he I think he said he's already hit like 13 or 14 states. I saw a post he made the other day. And then I saw Lester make a post that said, hey, since all these companies are selling out shows and making a bunch of money, who's the promoter that pays the best? You know what I mean? Like just a typical Lester post. But I mean, it's true, because that's what he's saying. He's like, everybody's bragging about how well their company's doing. So you got some money, huh? Throw it my way. To be honest with you, there's a guy, he's been around the business a while. He's willing to travel. He's got a body on him. And now he's asking an honest question. I mean, and you know what he's not getting? He's not getting an honest response, because why the fuck would anybody give you an honest response? I'll just tell them flat out, like, hey, man, I don't think you're going to sell me the amount of tickets that you're asking for me to pay you to be on my show. So if you want to be on my show, we got to set some consistency up. I got to get some video footage. I got to get some stock footage. I have to be able to promote you to make what you're asking me to pay you be worth it, because I'm too old to be doing people favors anymore. And what I mean by doing people favors anymore is like, yeah, I'd love to have you on my show, but I'm not going to pay you what you're asking me to pay, not because I'm a fucking cheapskate, because I'm telling you, I'm not going to get my return investment on it. And if that bothers you, well, boo hoo hoo to everybody. I'm not a money mark. So there are plenty of those out there that you can go work for. You know what I mean?
Of course. Well, and that kind of begs the question about you see some promotions that are bringing in names, right? Is that something where do you feel like that's something where people are bringing in names for the reason that we're talking about, which is work somebody who's better? I mean, you talk about them bringing in masters to work with you, like, that's because Marcus knows that's going to equal a good match, and you have somebody that's coming in masters that's going to sell some tickets and things like that. But what about some of these other promotions that are bringing in names? I saw Tommy Dreamer that was on. I felt like he was on a show or two. I see that. I feel like Kazarian is getting booked for a show coming into town. Like, what does that do for the betterment of the business? Is that what you just talked about? Like, I'm gonna pay for someone to come in so I can have a dream match with them because I've always wanted to wrestle this guy? Or is this a way for you to get a brighter mind in your locker room to help everybody get better? Like, what is your opinion on that? Because obviously you just talked about you were working a bunch of guys that were top guys, and you're going out there and you're having good performances with them and telling a good story and having a good match. But what are we looking for, or what are we doing in some of these other situations? Is that the case? Are we having better matches with those people, or are we bringing these people in because we want to have a name on our show, or are we bringing these people in because we think they're going to help us draw?
I don't know about the draw. It's cool that love Matt Freeman to death, man. Talk to him, depending. I just called him the other day, but it's like, he brought in D'Lo Brown, or whoever brought in D'Lo Brown, and I saw the clips of it this weekend. It's cool, man. Why would you not want D'Lo Brown in there if you're going to pay? We've brought in Al Snow before it was cool to bring in Al Snow back in the day. But why wouldn't you want? I mean, if you got the money, now you can offer a seminar. I know Stars of Wrestling did a seminar with a bunch of people. Icebox would always bring in Carlito, Boogeyman, and Bobby Lashley when he was around back in the day. And it's good, man. It creates a contact and stuff. But if you think, and this is just the truth, if you think bringing in D'Lo Brown, if you think they're bringing in Tommy Dreamer, if you think they're bringing in Bobby Lashley or Carlito or Boogeyman or all of them on the same show is going to translate into 2,000-3,000 fans in a hefty night where don't know what you're paying for them, don't know what you're paying for the flights. I know what I paid for Al Snow, and we ended up having MVP on the show at the exact same time. But I know that Jody Christopherson and Will Roberts split the bill on MVP because he was already down at APW. So there's a case of the wrestlers paying for the talent to come in so they can work them or just to help out. And Al Snow was like $1,500 with a round trip flight and motel and all that. And hey, I had a good educational time with Al Snow, but I picked Al's brain from all the way from the airport from San Francisco back to Oroville and dinner and everything else. You know what I mean? So I had that long ride with him talking and asked him 5 minutes remaining in this podcast. But no, I don't think it's going to draw. You know, I think having Chris Masters on your show, Marcus had Cody Rhodes and the best indie guys and all these guys on his card, and he was working the Bayshore and everything else. And I mean, there were nights that they hit over 600 fans, which is really good for local independent wrestling, right? But me and you at the convention center that time, we 957 fans. I talk about it all the time because we were local and we were able to build the storyline up with R.I.P. Bradley Rotten, man. And 957 people piled into that convention center almost at capacity, which looked insane to see me versus you because the way we built it right. And I always tell these guys, you on the flyer isn't gonna sell the house out. But if you get the right baby face and the right heel and you do the right thing with them and get the right people interested in what's going on and you stick with the story and keep it in front of the actual audience in that area's eyes, then you do become a draw because they want to watch that match. If we're just going to have a wrestling show, let's have a wrestling show to get our talent over, get our stars over, and get the younger guys some work. That's what I'm saying. Yes, 100% is what I'm saying. Do I think, I don't know GCW and Hog Wrestling and all these, they generate a big audience, but they've worked years to generate these audience so that when they do bring in names, it already matters because they're already built on social media and it's like asking me, man, can you believe Vince McMahon sells out Madison Square Garden when he took it? Yeah, I can, because his dad sold out Madison Square Garden and his grandpa Jesse sold out Madison Square Garden. He inherited the greatest venue in the world in New York City that the WWF and the WWF was already selling out. They had Bruno Sammartino and Backlund and superstar Billy Graham and brought in Dusty Rhodes and all these other people that came. Yeah, it's cool what Vince did, but he was already selling out the Garden. He was already selling out, and then he starts the Boston Garden and all these other places, but he was already selling out Madison Square Garden. So a lot of companies have already put in the hard work to build their company up there. So when they bring in a name, it seems like that name is drawing, right? I mean, you really got to get some big time star power to somebody who's fresh. Because even like with GCW and stuff and the things like with Matt Cardona on it and those guys, I mean, even if there's 400 or 500 fans in the crowd, that's not a lot. That's a lot by our standards, but that's not a lot. You're like, man, if I'm going to book somebody, can we get 5,000 people? And can you get that in a building? And that's what I mean by the wrestler. It's not a big a draw anymore because there's so many wrestlers and so much wrestling. You got to build it yourself, man. If you want the attendance, you got to build it from the ground up and do it yourself.
Absolutely. Well, obviously you have those situations, you talked about being, they bring someone in to work with you. And obviously we had those times with Fog City where we were working with the Samoans and then getting brought down to Southern California to work with the Samoans and having all these different opportunities to work with Gangrel and a lot of these other names, because someone at a company believes in you and thinks that you're going to have a good match. And obviously those are the times where that people have some respect for you and they believe that you're going to deliver. And so they're going to fly someone in to work with you. rather than you being the promoter and you flying someone in to work with yourself. So, but man, we've flown through an hour here. We were both tired starting off, but we made it through, man, for a full hour, man. We've got this is going to drop tomorrow on Monday. We've got just a little under 2 weeks until our next show here in Reno. So looking forward to that. Going to have the seminar prior to that to try to gain some more students, man.
Before we go, what did that first APW at the Cow Palace generate? What was that, like 2,500?
Oh, I don't know, man. Yeah. Was that
I remember it was less than 3, right? It was less than 3,000.
Yeah, I don't know. Was that
you're talking all the
Battle Royal one?
Yeah, you're talking X-Pac was on that, Gangrel, Pat Patterson, fucking Cody Rhodes. You know what I mean? Like Joey Ryan wrestled Cody Rhodes in the cage. Like you're talking about, they had Cage. A lot of guys. Johnny Onyx, when he was pretty hot coming out of there. There was a lot of talent on that show, plus all the top talent from all walks of life that wanted to get on it from indie wrestling. And it didn't even do over 3 in the Cow Palace. Like it was a big deal for everybody, but it didn't even do over 3. So more power to everybody, man. If you want to bring in a name, you want to run a similar. I'm not telling you it's bad. If you feel like you want to spend your money on something that you go to work for, you work for your money, and you feel like you want to go spend it on WrestleMania, you want to go spend it on fucking a seminar or training somewhere or whatever the fuck you action figures, fuck, that's by God, bro. Go take your money and go do whatever you want to do with it. I'm not criticizing that at all. I'm just simply stating I don't feel that bringing a name in, especially around locally right here, they got the Golden One Center, they got the Memorial Auditorium, and they have a hard time selling that place out with the biggest stars in the world or in that company. So, no, I don't think bringing in one old star or someone who can take indie bookings off another company who's not even a top star in that company is going to put more people in a seat than when that company comes to Memorial or somewhere like that. Absolutely not. Sorry. And you know what? Hit that fucking subscribe button, because I don't give a shit what we say. I wouldn't give a shit anyways, right? But I don't give a shit because not enough of you out there watching it for me to give a shit if I offend you or not. For Zach Primetime Reeb and the Wrecking Ball Paul Isadora, we gave you 3 extra minutes of quality knowledge. Suck a dick, suck a duck, eat some poop. We're going over.